All right, everybody, welcome to Trash Cinema. I'm your host, Michael. My co-host.
Hey, it's everybody. It's Jacob.
As you know, you might have noticed we changed the theme song a bit. I'm getting bored by that. Everybody uses that, whatever that stupid, coming attractions music. I'm getting bored, so I'm gonna try out some new songs. You like one? Let us know. We're on Facebook. We're a group called Trash Cinema, where we post a podcast, but at the same time, everybody can join in and share news and trailers and all the sorts of nonsense about trashy and fun movies.
Of
So
course.
on this show, basically we discuss movies that either bombed, trashed by the critics, or were true trash, junk, garbage cinema. Last week we did Trauma films, which we absolutely loved. They are just the king of trash cinema. This week we're going to discuss two movies that were very similar, came out at the same time, both bombed and were hated by critics. And they are going to be Stay Tuned and Mom and Dad Save the World.
I grew up watching these. I loved them so much.
God. Okay, of the two, which do you prefer?
I'd have to probably go with Mom and Dad Save the World.
Yeah. All right, so we'll start off with that one. Mom and Dad Save the World. What's that?
Don't get me wrong. No disrespect to Stay Tuned. I love John Ritter, and it's very entertaining to watch. Going through all the different TV channels. Pretty much going through what our generation grew up watching.
Yeah.
When MTV was actually MTV.
Oh my God, those days are long gone.
And of course, all the little movie parodies, driving, instead of driving Miss Daisy, it's driving over Miss Daisy.
Okay, so we're starting with Stay Tuned. Let's, sorry, folks. Stay tuned. Basically, it is John Ritter and Pam Dauber. I thought it was very cool that they actually cast two TV stars to star in a movie about television instead of like marquee names.
Exactly. No, that makes so much sense.
And there's a point in their life where they're basically not communicating with each other. John Ritter just basically sits on the couch all day long. I think he lost his job. I missed that part. I think he lost his job.
No, he does have a job. It's just a very boring job. I think he's on the council of regarding plumbing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so basically when he's home, he doesn't talk, he doesn't do anything. He just watches TV all the time. Every moment he fills with television. And it's getting to the point where his wife is sick and tired of it. She basically says, "You got to stop, or I got to leave because you're no longer being a husband. You're being just a couch potato." And just as he's getting better, all of a sudden Jeffrey Jones shows up with a contract for the most amazing satellite dish you can ever believe, with thousands and thousands of different channels.
Yeah, no, this is of course after she smashes the TV.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So he gives. Go ahead.
Well, being a lousy plumbing salesman, I mean, what can you do?
So basically, he signs a contract. He gets a satellite dish. They get in an argument over it, and they get sucked into the satellite dish. And basically, they end up in a weird. It's like UHF. You've seen UHF, correct? Weird Al?
Yes, it is. It's just game shows from hell. Game shows and TV shows and movies from hell.
It's like UHF if it was obsessed with Satan. Like instead of Weird Al is Anton LaFay, the head of the Satan Church.
Exactly. All 666 channels worth.
Oh,
Come on.
Right. Why did I say
how
thousands?
could you have not seen that?
Yeah. So the parodies, I'm trying to remember. I literally watched this movie this morning and I can't seem to remember some of the parodies. There was Dwayne's Underworld.
Oh God, yes, I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, they must have shot that just as the movie was wrapping up because Wayne's World came out like 6 months before Stay Tuned, so they must have rushed that one in.
Yeah, I know, and plus, it was such a huge thing. They think teens would want to see it, and also, what else? Oh gosh, what else did it go? Driving over Miss Daisy, where the objective of the movie was to kill Miss Daisy by running her over.
There's the video game, or not the video game, the game show.
Oh yeah.
Where if they get the questions wrong, they get dumped into hell.
Oh yeah, no filling pit of fire and lava.
The salt and pepper scene went on way too long. That was a full music video. You could tell that they were just paid to promote that. You're like, why is this still going? Why is this a thing?
Exactly. Yeah, that, and also the characters they portrayed too. Jeffrey Jones was, of course, clearly Vanilla Ice, and
yeah.
John Ritter was Prince.
Which is hilarious. Him wearing that costume. I actually forgot that Prince looked like that for a while. He wasn't Prince. He was that symbol, which was the artist formerly known as Prince. I've always thought that Prince was fucking with us by doing that. I was like, your name is just longer now. It's not a symbol. Nobody's going the symbol.
The different strokes. Oh god, when those two old people are in the retirement home and they both have different effects from having a stroke. I can't see. I can't feel.
It's really morbid. It's a dark, dark comedy. My favorite part of the movie, and I think it's probably everybody's favorite part of the movie, is the 6 minutes of cartoon that Chuck Jones, legendary Chuck Jones, animated. That was so wonderful to watch.
Oh gosh, yes, the one at the beginning, RoboCat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then there was also Northern Overexposure.
No.
Autopsies of the Rich and Famous. My Three Sons of Bitches, I think.
Or Three Men and Rosemary's Baby.
Oh my god. How could you not laugh at any of those parodies? Come on.
All right, so Tim Burton was supposed to direct this, but left because his contract obligation required him to go shoot Batman Returns. I get the feeling this movie would have been a lot different. The tone would have been more inventive. The visual would have been stronger. I think. Here's the thing: I will say this: Peter Hyams was the director, and I don't understand why he was chosen. It must have been one of those who are the only people qualified to actually do this quickly? Who do we got? Peter Hyams isn't doing anything right now. Fuck it, get him. Because Peter Hyams doesn't do comedies. He's only ever done Running Scared, which was an action comedy. So I don't understand how he ended up in a black comedy farce like this. But it looks wonderful. The people he chose to shoot the movie with him, they look exactly like they should.
Oh, indeed. Oh, and plus Eugene Levy, even though his presence was just absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Very funny guy. I thought it was a wonderful performance by him.
I know. It's like every time you see him, you just can't help but laugh and cheer him on. He has that presence. Also, it was pretty funny when near the end of the movie when he's flipping through all the channels, like through Star Trek and all that.
Yeah.
And then he arrives in the living room. Where have you been? And he's back at Three's Company.
Oh my god, that was great. So I will say this: the one part of the movie I could not stand was his kids. The boy isn't too bad, but that girl is fucking terrible. She is so hard to watch. Most of the time, her face makes her look like she has some sort of brain damage.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, it's pretty bad, but damn, Michael. I thought I was going to say
this is her face. People on the podcast can't see it, but Jacob, this is her face basically half the time. The kid's always like, hey, Mom and Dad are on the TV. We've got to do something now. And she's like, what? What is that on TV? Blah, 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 blah.
Well, at least it was more expressive than Kristen Stewart.
Huh? I mean, if it's not that face, it's this face. You're stupid. What are you doing? Oh my god. She had severe.
Typical cheerleader, stereotypical Valley Girl, kind of.
I guess, but I didn't give a fuck. She was annoying. She had a lot of plastic surgery. I saw her on IMDb. She took her nose down, changed her chin, and I think she was married to what's the kid from Dawson's Creek? The one who basically
James Vanderbeek.
James Vanderbeek. Yes, I think she was married to James Vanderbeek for a while.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's whack. That's crazy. That's just crazy.
That's crazy whack, yo.
Indeed.
There is a joke in there that is so of the moment. It's a Dukes of Hazzard joke where it's David Dukes of Hazzard. Do you know who David Dukes is?
David Dukes. You tell.
92. He was running for president. As he was in his little run, going around the country talking to people, it was discovered that he was a member of the KKK. Yeah. And instantly, just within 24 hours, he's like, fuck it, I quit. I'm no longer running for president. Sorry. Like, good.
I know. Well, okay, eventually Ted Cruz is going to have to do the same thing because, he's not an American citizen. He wasn't born in America.
Oh,
he was born in
what about Donald Trump? Donald Trump is number one in the ratings or whatever for running for a Republican Party. This man filed for bankruptcy, I think, actually twice.
5 times. Bankrupted 5 times.
Are you fucking kidding me? He filed for...
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
He bankrupted 5 of his fucking companies. He's still outsourcing to China, and he's bashing China, their business methods and whatnot.
And he wants to run the country? He also said that if his daughter wasn't his daughter, that he would probably date her. Oh, God. This is a president who wants... What?
I was like, honestly, this just shows how the Republicans still don't have a strong candidate.
Oh my God! Willing to fuck your own daughter and bankrupt this country? Please, no. I right now, Sarah Palin looks reasonable.
Oh god, I don't even want to
I
go
know,
there. I
it's
mean,
good.
if Fox dumped her show, what the hell does that tell you?
I didn't know Fox. I gave her a show. That was dumb. All right,
Yeah.
so back to the movie. I apologize.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. It did better than how I almost said How I Met Your Mother. Mom and Dad Save the World. It was released still in a decent part of summer, August 14th. It was released by Warner Brothers with a decent amount. I've never seen a lot of commercials for it. It just didn't open that well. It ended with $10 million. So it didn't make its money back, but it still did well enough on video that's why people know what it is.
Exactly, and on cable TV like HBO. Yeah. No, plus, I think it to me it's a classic. I grew up watching it. I loved it. Couldn't get enough of it.
Now the next one I did not discover. See, I saw Stay Tuned when it hit video. This next one, I actually I almost waited a decade or more to see this. I saw it on HBO around 2003, 2004. And
oh wow,
yeah, when it came out, I just didn't care. The trailer was a terrible trailer. They didn't try to sell this movie at all. It was Warner Brothers, but it was actually an HBO film, and I think Warner Brothers purposely sabotaged it because it was so similar to Stay Tuned. You know, it has the same setup where it's a married couple that are in they're in their 40s, they have kids. They're at that point where they're kind of bored.
Same kind of situation. Yeah,
they're kind of bored.
Marriage, I feel like their marriage is kind of falling apart.
Yeah,
and it also stars Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah, Jeffrey Jones, and it's taken out of its normal element, and basically they got to learn how to be heroes together. Oh, I forgot. There's one thing I want to say. Stay tuned. Pam Dauber was pregnant for that whole movie. If you watch the train scene, they had to shoot it from a certain angle because her belly was quite big at the time, and they had to keep the camera right in front of her. Yeah,
it did show a little. I didn't notice in one little glimpse, but yeah, wow.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
Crazy. And she started Mork and Mindy. That's where everybody knew her from.
My Sister Sam.
Yeah,
one day we're gonna have to talk about My Sister Sam. That is one of the most tragic stories I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I'll tell you later. All right, so
also, so the plot of this, it's like the married couple going to save the planet, full of idiots. That's the
dumbest people. This movie is so funny. It's so fucking funny. Stay Tuned is a ride. It's an amusing ride. You laugh here and there, but Mom and Dad Save the World, I almost laughed the entire fucking movie, and I've seen this movie like 10 times already. I still laugh my ass off this morning.
I know. I even showed this to my friend Molly. I think a couple years ago. It was her first time watching it.
Yeah.
She laughed every scene, especially with John Lovitz. I mean, John Lovitz.
He's so funny. John Lovitz is one of those you love him or you hate him, and I don't understand why people. I think people hate him because of who he is. Now, John Lovitz is a very, very complicated comedian. He commits so much to his characters that he kind of loses himself in the role. But I think the problem that people have with him is that he is a grown-ass man, but he has the mindset, even it seems like in real life, of an 8-year-old. I always thought it was effeminate, but I was wrong. It's more like he is a child who never really grew up.
Right. Although Tom Hanks said that John Lovitz was his favorite Saturday Night Live performer.
I think he's a lot of people's favorite Saturday Night Live performers. He amuses me to no end, even though I've heard that he's severely insecure and that he had basically burned his bridges with Kevin Smith because of some screw-up financial thing.
Damn.
Yeah, he fucked him over. You know, their podcast, Hollywood Babylon. Basically, he said all these, like, he flipped on the contract. He gave them this huge contract, whatever, to do the show there. And then he decided to screw them because he wanted more money. And it's you have to listen to it. I'll give you a clip later. It's so complicated, it makes him look like a complete asshole.
Damn.
But as an actor, he's insane. This is his pinnacle performance right here. I think he is so fucking good in this. He is so insanely insecure, but yet somehow smarter than everybody else on the planet. So that is how he became the ruler of this world. This is basically Flash Gordon and Wizard of Oz kind of world. And it's spoofed. It's if Ming the Merciless was a douchebag. You know, a wimpy douchebag who is very conniving, but at the same time has no real power.
But at the same time, he's a total complete moron.
Yeah, the things his dialogue is insane. There's a scene where he is kissing Terry Garr, and he goes to kiss her. He's like, he's just like licking her lips, or whatever, and then he goes, and I laugh so fucking hard.
I know, and then also that one scene at the end where they're doing the whole Trojan statue of Todd thing. He's like, can't you see this is a trick? I don't have that much fat around my face. Well, all right, bring it in. Let's show how it doesn't look like me.
And he's like, I do not have this much fat around my face, do I?
I know. I think the actual smartest person on that planet is his right-hand man of fear.
Oh, he is awesome. General Affer, played by Thomas Rasulala. I absolutely love his character. He is, he works for John Lovitz's character, Todd Spango.
Yeah, he's general.
By the way, Todd Spango, worst emperor name ever. But he works for him, but he doesn't give a shit about him. And when he sees the chance that he actually do something right for the world, he does. He's a really great character, and this is his final role. He died during post-production.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, but it's a good role to go out on. I really enjoyed that.
Indeed.
All right, so
I mean, even Eric Idle's character, who's King Raph, he's in the dungeon when Jeffrey Jones gets locked up.
I love Eric Idle.
I love Eric Idle. He's legendary, of course. How could you not love him from Monty Python? He says he's the smartest person on that planet, but he's an idiot himself.
He even says,
he's like, "Now, please."
Yeah. They know they're stupid. That's the weirdest thing, is that the stupid people know they're stupid.
I know. He's like, "Please, let me know when I stop." Then he pauses for like 30 seconds. He's like, "You stopped."
Yeah, so this is a parody of, like I said, Flash Gordon for the most part, but there's little bits and pieces of the majesty of Wizard of Oz thrown in. But the special effects are so astounding. They capture the feel of those old cheesy serials to the T, but at the same time still being of 1992. Those little jumping mushrooms are amazing to look at. They look so cute, and they turn out to be vicious monsters.
Yeah, I know. And then later on, when he's like, greeted by by the little warrior tribes.
Yeah.
He's just they end up serving it to him like covered in grease and lard. I'm like, oh god. I don't think I could ever eat one of those things. Oh.
No. Hey, there's a sequence where they're showing it. There's like a bunch of them running down the hallway after Jeffrey Jones. If you look closely at the floor, on the right-hand side, the very last mushroom that's jumping up and down, you can see the pole that it's on being pushed up from the floor over and over and over and over. Crazy. It's like, well, that's a little obvious, but it's a good effect. It's a really smart effect.
Yeah.
Tony Gardner. He's kind of underrated. He's one of those special effects guys that did a lot of really great work. He didn't really go for realistic. He went for stylized. The stuff that he would do is really crazy, and he never got the respect that he deserves for those, and I really enjoy his work. He did Freak.
No, indeed. Yeah, no, like the production design itself, just from the look of the guns, it does look like a highly advanced technological society, yet how can that be? They're
so dumb. They're so fucking dumb. I don't understand that either. But it's not a movie that's logical in its reasoning. It's not meant to be. It's a spoof. This is from the guys that did the Bill and Ted movies. And from what I've heard, I read an interview with them, and I read an interview with John Lovitz that said in the beginning, when they started the movie, that it was very almost R-rated. It was dirty. It was heavy on satire, and that it was a little darker in tone. And then when it was finished, Warner Brothers looked at it and goes, "What is this? This is too mature. We want to sell it to kids." And the reasoning, I think, is because it was too close in tone to stay tuned. And Warner Brothers had both movies released within 3 weeks of each other. 3 weeks of each other, these movies were released. So what what they did was they go, well, we'll take the movie, but we're going to edit it down to a kid's movie. That's why it's so short. This movie's crazy short. It's 88 minutes long. And I want to see the original version. I want to see the one that is nearly 2 hours, that is heavy on satire, and has like a more ribald humor. And I don't know how to ever see that.
Okay. Who was the voice of Rex from Toy Story?
Rex? Which one was Rex in Toy Story?
Rex, the big green one, the big.
The dinosaur. It was Wallace Shawn, the one from Princess
Wallace
Bride.
Shawn, yes, he has an appearance in this too. He's the
so
one who ends up helping him.
I had no idea he was so tiny. He's like pocket size. He's like a Lego minifigure. I could put him in my pocket.
Oh, I know. Gosh, even when he made a brief appearance in Sex and the City, it's like, so yeah, what do you think? Isn't he so witty? He's like, oh my god, he's a hobbit.
But he plays a real sensitive role here. It's kind of out of the norm for him because he usually plays severely neurotic, severely like jerk kind of people. And this one,
like Pizzini.
He's a little neurotic, but for the most part, he's heartbroken. He wants to do the right thing. And I cannot believe who his love interest is. Did this stun you?
Oh my god.
Kathy Ireland.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Oh. I know, big famous model too.
Terrible actress though, terrible fucking actress. But yeah, she
Oh,
was
let's yeah, no,
beautiful.
Brigitte Nielsen.
What's
Oh,
that?
yeah, Tony Cox was actually he plays Glad. He plays one of the guard dogs.
That the effects on the guard dogs are really good. Those
Oh, I
impressed me.
know. It is, like I said, wonderful puppetry, wonderful animatronics. It's I know it's just so authentic because it's actual sets.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's before
these are
CGI
like
took over. This is one of those movies. It only cost 14 million, but it looks so much more expensive. It's a crew that knew what they were doing, and they cut costs as much as possible.
yep.
The director
Oh,
is the director of License to Drive, I think, if I remember correctly. Have you ever seen that?
what's that one about?
What's that?
What's that one about?
Oh, License to Drive is the one with Corey Feldman, Corey Aim, and they're 16 and they're supposed to get the license.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I remember. I definitely remember now. Oh God.
He also directed Bushwhacked with Daniel Stern, the one the Boy Scout movie.
That's right. Yes. Oh my God, I do remember that one. And he's been like framed for a murder, and he ends up like posing as this camp leader.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's weird that he did all these kid movies or like more family comedy movies, and then he ended up being on Smallville. That changed everything for him. He worked on Smallville for the entire series, I think, and then he worked on
Oh wow.
Heroes. He did Melrose Place. He does Defenders, Falling Skies. He does a lot of darker stuff now. I wonder if he misses
Cool.
doing comedy.
I know. Like it would be pretty intriguing to see him like make a comeback with comedy.
Yeah. This movie, like I said, it got dumped. It only made $2 million, and it's a damn
Oh,
shame because this movie is hilarious. Even in its childish form, it's still really, really funny.
I know. My friend Molly, even like her age, like I showed this to her like what 5, almost 6 years ago, and she laughed her ass off. She loved it. I mean, anyone else I showed this to, always got a kick out of it.
I love the scene with the bomb. The bomb that literally says "pick me up," and if you pick it up, it's a light bomb, and it just basically disintegrates you.
Disappear.
And everybody picks it up, and oh my god, it's ridiculous.
I think we're gonna need some more reinforcements.
Oh man! All right, so I want to go back real quick. The writers of Mom and Dad Save the World, of course, they had so much success with the Bill and Ted series. But I was looking at the writers of Stay Tuned, and I had never heard of them. And it was a writing partner, Tom Parker and Jim Jewelin, I think was his name. So
Oh, okay.
right after Stay Tuned, they hit the gold. Wowzers!
Sorry.
You cool? All right. They hit the gold mine, and they did 4 huge movies in 1 year. In 1994, they wrote for Major League Two, The Flintstones,
Oh wow.
Getting Even with Dad, and Richie Rich.
Oh, dang. Yeah, those were shit.
And guess
All those
what?
movies I grew up with.
Yeah, and they haven't worked since. How the fuck do you sell 4 scripts in 1 year and then you never work again?
I guess they just lived a comfortable life and were done with Hollywood, or they couldn't find work.
I'm gonna think it's couldn't find work. Man, that has to suck though. Like, holy crap! Look what we just did. I haven't got a phone call in a while. Oh boy.
Always burnt out.
I guess I'll be teaching a writing class at college. I don't know what to do now.
Exactly. Oh. Well, anyway, like I said, I think this movie still holds up. I think it's still such an enjoyable movie.
Oh yeah, it's a little harder to find than Stay Tuned. I think Warner Bros. Is also kind of hiding it. But Ed Solomon, the writer of this, is the writer of Men in Black.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, of course, he didn't create Men in Black because it's a comic book, but he's also responsible for that piece of shit Super Mario Brothers. Blah. I know, right?
that was not Super Mario. It was great.
That was lie. That was a lie. They tricked us. I think that's it for us here. Anything else you want to say about either of these movies?
Oh, I highly recommend watching them. I think you should show them to your kids to let them know what movies were like before the computer-generated imagery.
Yeah, there's a little bit of CGI in Stay Tuned, but it's very early, and it completely makes sense, too. They had to do it that way or it would look terrible.
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right, so that's it for us here at, you know what, is this a trash cinema episode? This is borderline video night, because video night is where we talk about underrated movies or forgotten movies that are worth a damn. I think we have a crossover. I think this is video night and trash cinema.
It's both. It's a hybrid.
Oh, you got chocolate in my peanut butter. You got peanut butter in my chocolate.
We have made a scientific breakthrough and we must tell the world.
That was creepy. I feel like you should be
I
wearing
know.
leather
Well,
and
that's
touching
the point.
yourself. I've got butter in my butt. What?
You sick motherfucker, Mac.
I am twisted. All right, everybody. We are finished here. I guess I'm signing off. And be excellent to each other, everybody.
Namaste and good luck, you guys. Have a good night. I love you all.